And so we developed a special glue. It's a ProClima solid glue, so ProClima solid acrylic tapes. The production starts similar, so we have this wide, 1 meter wide carrier material. In this case, it's a spun one from the test compound. And then we bring the glue on the surface, and the glue is not solved in water. It's a pure acrylic which we bring on the surface. It's like a very, very soft honey from the. It feels like a very soft honey. It looks like this. So we have a short acrylic change bringing on the carrier material. And then we activate it by special bringing energy on the surface, and by this short change connecting with each other, and we can bring the glue from this very soft honey touch to a harder glue, which is a glue which you can work on the building site. And the good thing is, because it has never been in contact with water, the acrylics cannot be solved in water, it's absolutely water resistant. So our glue does not contain any resins, and our glue does not contain any emulgators which can work or can absorb water. So absolutely water safe. Good. And now the second thing which is important to know about, or just to have in your mind when we come about tape connections on the building site. How do we achieve bonding? How do we achieve bonding? Sometimes I hear the tape is good, it's really melting with the foil, it's vulcanizing with the surface, so they think the glue is penetrating in the surface like a melting construction. But this is not true. So we achieve bonding by embracing something. So if we embrace some surfaces, but when we take a look about the materials we are sealing on the building site, they look in the first appearance not very structural. They look, glatt. They look smooth. Yeah, they look smooth. And we achieve the connection to the surface not by a connection, but by a chemical, physical reaction. So we call this adhesion. So when you bring a glue to a surface, we have a reaction in this meeting point. And this is called adhesion. And the question is, what is adhesion? Adhesion happens if we bring two surfaces very close together. So every surface has some electronical energy in the surface, but it's a very low energy, and we only can achieve connection between these different energetic levels when we bring it very close together. Then we have this plus and minus reactions, which is creating a physically bonding between the two materials, but it's not a reaction between the materials itself. It's not melting with each other. Good. When we take a look how a surface looks like, we see that normally even the surface of a membrane is not absolutely smooth. When you take a look at the microscope, you see that it has a lot of surface that look like the Alps, like some hills and valleys, and we have here some noses going around. And this is the second way how we achieve a bonding. If the glue is penetrating in the surface and it's floating around a nose like this, and you try to remove it, it has some kind of mechanical bonding in a micromolecular scale. And the more often you have this bonding, the better the connection gets. So, this is why, beside adhesion, we achieve a connection to the surface by flowing of the glue in the membrane structure around these noses and these hills and valleys. And when we try to remove it, of course the glue has to flow out, and it's not happening so fast, so we think it's a good bonding. Good. So this is a microscopic picture of the PE membrane. You see how structured the surface is, or a subroof membrane in the spunbond fleece structure, or even the entello. You have not a clear, smooth surface, and this the glue must follow all the surface to offer a good bonding. And the better the glue can follow the surface structure of the membranes, the better the connection is. And high pressure by installing the tapes leads to better connection to the surface. This is, I guess, no, you have to press the tapes to the surface. The reason is that the glue is pressed into the structure of the surface, can follow it better. We have a longer way for creating adhesion, and we have a better way of penetrating in the surface. We offer by this, every producer is saying it. You have to install it with pressure, and then there are these rollers existing, or you can use your hand. We have in all our tape boxes one tool for free inside. It's this press fix. This press fix helps you just to press it, the tapes with high pressure to the surface, and by doing it you get at once a clearly better connection to the surface. All acrylic tapes, the glue they are using, or acrylic glues, are so-called PSA glues. PSA means pressure sensitive adhesive. This means they get their bonding by pressure, and this is why you have to use the press fix. It's interesting to test it yourself. If anybody of you has never tried it, visit Roberts later, he can show you, and then you can feel the clear difference how good the connection is when you use a high pressure application. Good. Due to the surfaces we have on the building site, and they're very structured, we're working with the thick glue thicknesses of 200 grams per square meter. This is what ProClima is using. And this is for a tape connection a very high amount of glue. When you go to car building, to the graphical industry, they are working with clearly lower glue thicknesses, because the bigger the glue is on the surface, the more important gets the second force we found on the tape connection. It's the inner strength of the glue. It's cohesion. Because when we have a tape connection, we have a good connection to the surface, and we have a force on it, we have to transport the force to the other side of the connection. And the bigger the glue level is, the more important is the cohesion. Good, and the molecular force between particles within a body of a substance that acts to unite them. This is what we call cohesion. And to understand what cohesion is, we can paint very easy pictures. So just remember a very soft honey. When you go with a spoon into this honey and you turn the spoon around, everybody knows what's happened. The spoon is, the honey is dripping down. Only a very thin layer of honey remains at the spoon. So this is a material which is very sticky to surfaces, but has a very low cohesion inner strength. And then we have another extreme. This is a concrete block. The concrete block has a very strong cohesion inner strength, but it's not sticking at the surfaces. Right? You cannot stick it on the surface, but you cannot tear it apart. And what is important to know is cohesion and adhesion are related to each other. The higher the adhesion, so the connection possibility to the surface is, the lower the cohesion is, and the other way around. And this leads us to another question. What is important for tape? I told you in the beginning that it's very difficult to find differences when you take a look at the data sheet. And the tests you are doing on site, when maybe it's the tape supplier is visiting you, or you're visiting your building material supplier, he says, "Oh, put your sample in, or this is really sticky, unbelievably sticky," or he sticks it to a surface and let you tear on it, and then you say, "Wow, this is the best tape I've ever tested." But we have to go a step back and have to think about which force must the tape resist we are using for highly insulated construction. Must the tape stick on the thumb? Must be a tape resist against short and strong tearing forces? Or do we find other forces in the construction, small, long-lasting forces? And this is exactly what we found, because our construction should last for 30, 40 years in the best way. And then we have this, for 20, 30 years, this forces to the tape connection. We have here the rafters, maybe you see it. It's stapled to the rafters, the membrane, and the insulation material is pressing in between the rafters on the tape connection. So we have small forces pressing on the tape connection, but these forces are remaining there for decades, 20, 30 years until we rebuild these houses. And this happens to a tape which has a very soft glue. A lot of producers, they say, okay, we have to convince the installer. And so we have to convince the installer with a good thumb test and make the glue very soft, because the softer the glue is, the easier the glue is penetrating in the surface of the thumb. And if we try to remove it, we have a good connection surface, we have a good connection in the structure of our fingerprint. When we remove it, we think, wow, this is an extremely sticking tape, and we are convinced it's the best tape we ever had. But these tapes, as I said before, they have a low cohesion because it's so soft, the glue. And this might happen, and this can happen then on the building side. You see here they did not do a good application of the insulation layer, insulation material. They tried to bring the insulation in shape by pressing it with the membrane behind and sealing it with the tape. And then we have here, the insulation wants to expand, and we have a long-lasting but small tear forces on the tape connection. And then it started to swim. And after a couple of days, years, you see it's already opening, and you see the glue sticking on both sides of the connection because it has no cohesion, strength, no inner strength, but it's sticking, it's very soft glue. I made the simple test, everybody can redo it if you have maybe different tapes in your office. So it's very simple. I just take these wood weights of 200 grams, and then I take a PE sheet 4 centimeters by 2.5 centimeters, and I stick it to the tape, and then I let it hang. After 24 hours, this tape started to slip. Varna only a little bit. After 48 hours, this tape was nearly fallen off, and Varna stopped at a certain point to move until we have the after the cohesion transported safely the forces from this tape to the other side of the tape. And you see this was nearly fallen off. This is a test I did in my office within 48 hours. I know which tapes are not good because we've done once before a test in our basement. We have in Germany maybe 80 or 100 different tape brands in the market, and we bought 56 of them, and then we put all these simple created weights on it. We let it hang, and I came back in the basement after 3 days and wanted to take a picture, and after 3 days the first 3 tapes already collapsed. It's not so bad, but after 3 years, only 5 tapes from 56 are still resisting the force. Under this 5 tapes, we have all these ProClima tapes, number 1, Varna, and Unitape hanging, and 2 others. The rest of the tapes already collapsed, could not resist these forces. And it was really scary, because you see here, I hope it's visible. You see how yellow it turned? Is it visible? So the glue really breaks down in the middle, it remains yellow. Sometimes it was slipped off, and some tapes resisted 2.5 years, some 8 months, so it was really scared that all these tapes are falling off. And this is why our glues is, when you do the thumb tests, not the stickiest one in the beginning. Because we are not creating our glues to convince people with the thumb test, we are creating our glues to have long-lasting constructions, to realize long-lasting construction. And this is the danger.